So today in this video we'll solve the day 7 arrays problem of the 30 days of code challenge in HackerRank. The difficulty level of this problem is easy. The maximum score is 30 and it has been submitted by around 3,86,000 people. Now the objective is today we will learn about the array data structure. So array is one type of data structure that is often used in programming. We are going to use that data structure to solve today's problem. Given an array A, the name of this array is A, of n integers, print A's element in reverse order as a single line of space separated numbers. So we have n integers inside an array and we have to print all those integers in the reverse order from that array. So this is the example 1, 2, 3 and 4 is printed as 4, 3, 2 and 1, and each integer is separated by one space. So while printing using the printf function, we'll insert a space after the %d part. So the input format is basically the first line contains an integer n, which is the size of our array. This will help us initialize the array, and the second line contains all those space separated integers that describe array's elements. Also the constraints are that the number of and the size of that array is less than is equal to 1000 and greater than is equal to 1, and any element ai inside that array is greater than is equal to 1 and less than is equal to 10,000. So the maximum size is 1000 of that array and the maximum value of that single element is 10,000. The output format is simply that the array is printed in the reverse order as a single line of space separated numbers. So here is one more example. 4 is the size of that array, so we have 4 elements. The elements are 1, 4, 3 and 2 and they are printed as 2, 3, 4 and 1 in the reverse order. So we will be using the C programming language to solve today's problem, and we'll see how this complex code can be simplified and how all of this that is already included in the editor doesn't matter that much. So we'll just minimize all this readline, ltrim, rtrim and parseInt function. So I'll explain this part of the code, the main function of that code. All these 5 functions that are already declared, we do not need to understand how they work. We just need to understand what they do and how we are going to use them. So all of this doesn't matter. We'll focus mainly on this main function part, and we'll start with the code here. First let me show you what we have to write and what will evaluate properly. So the for loop that is already given in the code, all of this code does some input parts for us. So this line of code int n is equal to parseInt ltrim rtrim read line, this part inputs the size of that array, and similarly this allocation happens using the malloc function, and this for loop assigns all the items inside that array. What we essentially need to do is make a for loop that will print the array elements in the reverse order. So we write a for loop which has an counter as I. It starts with the value of that size n. So I will decrease from n to 0 and it will print everything according to that index. We also have to add -1 since the index of an array is starts from 0 and ends till n-1, n being the size of that array. So when I is greater than is equal to 0, then I minus minus, which means I will decrement after every iteration, and inside this for loop we have to use that printf statement. So %d, and we put a space because all those integers are separated by space, and then we put array of I. So I goes from n-1 to 0. we have included the greater than is equal to 0 part here, and I decreases after every loop. So we saw this is all the code that we need for now. We run the code. Okay, so it has been successfully passed. Let me also submit the code and show you that all the test cases are passing. There are 8 test cases. They are evaluating. Okay, so all the test cases have been passed. 1 to 8, all the test cases. Now I'll explain the code that is inside this main part. So this first line declares an integer n, that is the size of that array. This parseInt function is used to convert a string value into an integer value. So let's suppose we have let's say 7. This is the string. So we have string, let's say character. In C we write character. So character A is equal to 7. So if this character A is equal to 7, when we pass this 7 inside this parseInt function, it returns us an integer value of 7. So int A is equal to 7. So it becomes like this one, right? This ltrim function is used to eliminate all the spaces inside a string that are on the left side. So let's suppose this this character array A. Let's say we have a character array A. So 100 elements have something like this. So this is the string that we have. Let me just put it on the same type, and we have some spaces before this actual string, right? So this is the complete string and it has some initial spaces, and this is the text part. So this ltrim function eliminates all these spaces and consolidates this string as a singular character string, right? So it becomes like this after we pass it through the ltrim function. Similarly, for the rtrim function, it eliminates the spaces on the right side. So if this string had some spaces on the right side like this, it would have been eliminated and the string would have been like this. The readLine function is used to, as the name suggests, read a line. So let's suppose we put an input like this on the line. So this will be the input that the readLine function takes, and we can also take an integer, but this will be interpreted as a string. So the readLine function will take this as an input and convert this to this. So this will be converted, this number will be converted into a string, right? So it will become like this one. So what this single line does is takes an input readLine using readLine function, then it eliminates all the spaces on the right side using rtrim function, then it eliminates all the spaces on the left side using the ltrim function, and then the remaining string is finally interpreted as a integer using the parseInt function. So let's erase all this. Okay, now this second part is a pointer. Okay, so this is a double pointer. This is a pointer that points to a character type of data. Okay, and this array temp is a variable that stores the temporary array. Okay, so the split string function is basically used to split all the strings that we have in the next line, right? So let's say this second line has 4 inputs, 1, 4, 3 and 2, right? So the readLine function will take that 1, 4, 3 and 2 part. So let's say these are the inputs separated by space, obviously. So this readLine function will take all this as a single input because this is contained in one line, and it will convert this into a string because the readline function takes that as a string. So this will be the input after readline, and then rtrim will be used to separate all the spaces, and then split string will be used to split the string, that remaining string, into different characters. So this rtrim function will eliminate all those spaces that we have 1, 4, 3 and 2, and the string will become like 1, 4, 3 and 2. After this rtrim function operates on that, and after this split string function, this will return an array. Okay, so it will return an array of character type elements. So the first will be 1, then we have 4, and then we have 3, then we have 2, right? So this will be the input that this array temp gets, right? So this array, and it is stored into this array temp. And character star star means this is a double pointer, so which points to the address of this data that we are getting, right? And it's the pointer name is array temp. So whatever we input get from this part is stored inside some memory, and this array temp pointer points to the address of that memory. And this int star is another pointer named array, which points to the memory that is allocated here. Malloc is a function that is used to allocate memory dynamically, which means while you are running the program, you allocate memory on the fly instead of statically allocating memory like we do, let's say, integer array of size 1000. So this is a static declaration where we know the memory size that we require, but this is not always the case. So we need some kind of method that can be used to allocate memory dynamically. Malloc is one of them. So the way malloc functions is that it allocates the size based on the size of a data type. Size of is another special function inside the C language that is used to evaluate the required size of some data type on specific machine. So let's say the integer value takes 4 bytes on my machine, and it takes 8 bytes on another machine. So what this part will do, n multiplied by size of integer will do, is that n is the number of size of that array. So let's say n was 5, so we needed 5 integers inside that array, so we would need to allocate 5 integer spaces, right? So first we would evaluate the size of integer required inside the computer memory. For every computer it may be different, right? So we evaluate the size of integer required in that computer. Let's say it is 4 bytes, and the number of elements that we would require was 5. So 5 multiplied by 4 would be 20 bytes. So the malloc function would allocate 20 bytes for this, for some memory inside that computer, and the address of that memory will be stored inside this array named pointer, right? So when we need to do some operations on those elements that are stored inside those memories that were allocated, we would use this pointer to refer to that address of that memory, right? So malloc dynamically allocates any kind of memory based on the size of a data type and the number of elements required, right? So if you were to store a character kind of elements inside that array, you would write here, instead of int, you would write here char, which would take a different amount of space, right? After this part where we allocate the uh, memory for that array, what we do is we take that uh, parseInt function, and from that array temp pointer, we refer to that array temp pointer, and after every value, so I goes from 0 to n, which means if n were to be 5, and then I would go to from 0.0 to 5, and after every interval there is some element inside this array temp. This array temp points to some memory. So all those elements inside that memory will be converted into integers using the parseInt function stored inside this temporary array item variable, and then the array item variable will be stored inside the memory that is pointed by this array pointer, right? So what we are essentially doing is we are taking this array, right, the elements of this array, we are iterating through this one by one using this loop. So it goes from like this has 0 index, and this has 1 index, and this has 2 index, and this has 3 index, right? So let's say the memory address of this array was, let's say the address of this element on the computer memory was let's say 309, right? So this would go from 309, the address of the second element would be 310, and then 311 and 312, right? So these will be the consecutive addresses of these elements inside the computer memory. So we refer to all those addresses using this array temp pointer, right? Because this was pointing to this array's address, and we write I because we need to loop through every single element, and after looping through every single element we store this element inside this temporary array item variable which is of the type integer, and this array item variable is finally stored the address of this array item variable is stored inside this array pointer. So basically we have one pointer facilitating the relocation to another pointer, right? After we have all the elements referred to by this array pointer, we can use this array pointer to loop through and print them in reverse. So when we have this array of 1, 4, 3 and 2, then we can go from n minus 1 because n was the size of that array. So here in this case the size of that array was 4, n is equal to 4. Remember, this is not the code. I am just writing this for you to understand. So goes from 4 to 0. N minus 1 would be 3. So goes from 3 to 0. So it goes in the reverse order, 3, 2, 1 and 0. And we print this integer. These are integers after converting into parseInt, right? After using parseInt, the array would look like this, right? So it would become 1 comma 2 comma 4 comma 3 comma 2, right? So it would become like this after using parseInt, because string is converted into integer using this function, and we print this array in the reverse order using the counter I that goes from 3 to 1 and 0. So the element at array let's say 3 would be 2, since I is going from 3 to 0. After every loop it is decreasing, so first we will print the array 3 which means 2, then we will print array 2 which is 3, and then we will print array 1 which is 4, and then finally we will print array 0 which is 1, right? So this loop will print in the reverse order. So let me just comment this okay. So this is the use of this array. We erase all this code, we don't need this. So this is all the code that we need, and this will successfully execute as we already saw. Now I hope you understand this, because then from a beginner's point of view it is a little bit difficult to understand pointers and these new functions as well. Rtrim and ltrim are a bit advanced functions, so it is a bit difficult. But if you understand the concept of pointers and double pointers and how dynamic memory is allocated, this problem will be very easy for you, because we have already been given the input part the code is already doing that input part for us and memory allocation part for us. So we just need to print the array in the reverse order. We just need to write this simple for loop. This is nothing complex. It is just a decreasing order for loop using the counter I that goes from the size n minus 1 to 0, right? And don't forget to put a space after this %d because we need the integers to be separated by space. So that is it for this video. I hope you understood all of this, and I will see you in the next one. Till then, take care.